Part 106. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 1052. Chapter 1052 Start digging. Obtain sand. It seems that this game deliberately does not have an exit button. In this case, I must be prepared to work hard to survive. If death here is really death, then my time travel will be in vain. Suchen searched around again. It was discovered that the ground here is land, surrounded by hard rocks and sand. There's nothing else. This game is really stingy when it comes with such a few things at the beginning. Suchen clicked on the chat channel again. He found that everyone was discussing how to play this game. Well, let me ask you guys, what is this little black ball used for? Yes, I can understand the shovel. It's pretty handy for digging dirt and fighting monsters, but this ball, is there a ball for it? Is it used to hit people? What the hell kind of game is this? There are no hints. Do we have to figure out the rules of the game ourselves? It's too quiet. The surroundings are too quiet. I'm a little scared because of the quietness. Are there any players near me? Can you hear me? Browsing through the chat channel, Suchen suddenly frowned. None of them hear any system prompts. No way. How can I hear it? Although the system prompt is a bit disobedient. Suchen continued to peek at the screen. After more than 10 minutes, I found that there was really no system prompt. Suchen was shocked. Damn it! Is this my time travel benefit? A system prompt unique to the game. When he thought of this, Suchen's various dissatisfaction with this kind of game arrangement suddenly disappeared. Compared with other players, I feel pretty good. In comparison, because of the prompts, he directly knew the use of the black ball. He also knew how to play this game. At the same time, he also knew through the prompts that as long as he thought about it, the black ball and the shovel could automatically put it into the backpack. And this backpack is a virtual backpack. But as long as he moves his mind again, the black ball and shovel can return to his hands. The key is that this virtual backpack has no burden or weight. Well, this is still very good. At least when you accumulate more things in the future, you won't be exhausted to death. After almost exploring, Suchen thought about it. Well, next, it's time to try digging a cave and experience what this game is like. Suchen picked up the shovel. Tried digging forward. Wow! A huge pile of sand was dug out. The wall of rock, sand, and earth that originally felt extremely hard to the touch was actually dug up by him with great ease under the influence of the shovel. At the same time, the beep sounded again. Ding! You get sand *1. Huh? Sand is also a resource. Suchen felt this kind of digging and found that it completely satisfied the feeling of playing games before. Well, it is very relaxed. If put in reality, it is simply impossible to dig so many hard sand and rocks so easily. But at this time, the prompt sounded again. The cave ahead is empty, and your digging will have no effect except to harvest a pile of sand. Hearing this prompt, Suchen stopped digging. Let me go, is there any such reminder? Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 1053. Chapter 1053, Catacomb Monster. Death Threat. He thought about it. Dig in another direction. There is a terrifying burrow monster in the cave ahead. In addition to harvesting a pile of sand, your digging will also harvest death. Hiss. After hearing this prompt, Suchen took a breath of cold air. Damn it! There are actually burrow monsters. The key prompt is a terrifying cave monster, and it also says that Suchen will reap death. If this prompt is not false, then if Suchen keeps digging like this and enters the next cave, he will definitely die at this time, Suchen suddenly thought of. If those players without prompts just keep digging and are killed by the cave monster, will they be able to return to reality? However, what surprised and frightened Suchen was that the prompt sounded again. Being killed by a burrow monster, or dying of thirst or starvation, will be a real death. In reality, there will only be a cold corpse. Hiss. Suchen gasped again. Isn't this too cruel? Or is this just a prank and intimidation of this game? If it is true, then all the players of the global cave survival game are facing the threat of death. As it is now, a cave has 6 sides, that is, 6 directions. There are unknown dangers in each direction. Then the player's chance of survival is too small. Even if you can't find it all the time, if the survival resources are exhausted, death from thirst or starvation will really come. Suchen took a deep breath to digest this shock. Then changed the direction. There is no danger in the caves in this direction, and there are some survival resources you need. Huh? There is no danger, and there are still resources for survival? Suchen noted this direction. Then he changed several other directions. There is nothing in this direction. There is nothing in this direction. This direction is underground magma. If you fall, you will die completely. Hiss. Check it out. There are actually 2 dangerous directions. According to probability calculation, that is 1/3 chance of death. I go. Judging from this, as long as players start digging channels, a lot of people will be lost in a short period of time. And when he thought that these downsized players would immediately turn into a cold corpse in reality, Suchen felt a little complicated in his heart. I don't know who invented this game, or is it some kind of advanced civilization beyond human understanding? But no matter what, it's too cruel and too cold. Suchen took a deep breath. No matter what, he had to survive with his golden finger. After all, no one wants to die in a hellish place like this. In 6 directions. The direction under his feet is the underground magma. The top of the head is empty. The key is that the top of his head is more than 1 meter away from him. Even if you dig, you won't be able to dig that high. Even if he dug it through, Suchen wouldn't be able to climb up. Therefore, among the remaining 4 sides, only the one with resources is most suitable for you. Let's dig a little first. See if this tip is true. Suchen started to wave the shovel in his hand in the direction of the resource. Crash. Crash. The feeling of digging was not like digging soil, but more like digging some kind of light foam. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 1054. Chapter 1054 Passage Portal. Resources or mortal danger. But if you dig it by hand, it's real rock plus sand. That's really hard. This completely different feeling also amazed Suchen. 1 minute later, Suchen harvested a total of sand *10. All this sand and soil automatically entered the backpack. When he chose to take out the sand, immediately a pile of sand appeared at his feet. This pile of sand is about 1 cubic meter. That's 1 ton in weight. If he were to carry it, he would definitely be crushed to death. But now, as long as the mind moves, I can put it away and take it out at will. In this respect, this game is still very user-friendly. Reduces a lot of unnecessary labor and consumption. After digging a channel of about 10 meters, Suchen found a circular halo appearing in front of him. The aura was similar to the portals in games he'd played before. There is a rotating stream of light inside that is similar to a black hole. Suchen tried to push the shovel in a little. Found nothing happened. The shovel is also back intact. The shovel was swinging inside the portal but couldn't touch anything. Suchen immediately grasped the shovel with both hands and carefully stretched out half of his foot. Swish. Suchen was completely sucked into the halo. The next moment, Suchen found himself in another cave. It is also surrounded by rocks and sand on all sides. But there is a soft light source inside. I don't know where this light source comes from, but it exists. But Suchen wasn't too curious. This is a game after all. After a casual look, Suchen found the resources mentioned in the previous prompt. What a special resource! Suchen found a bottle of mineral water and a pack of instant noodles on the ground. I checked the shelf life and found that there was only 1 month left. As for the rest, there is nothing. But no matter what, Suchen finally had some survival resources, and it would be no problem to ensure that he could survive for 1 or 2 more days. At that moment, Suchen was not willing to eat or drink directly. Instead, he thought about it and put it in his backpack. At this time, he clicked on the chat channel again. Damn it, half an hour has passed, what should I do? I feel a little thirsty. I was so numb that I slept until noon. I had already ordered takeout, but it was directly sent here. I am almost dying of thirst. Who knows how to get something to eat in this game? In reality, my takeaways are all gone. Hey, I'm so thirsty. Is there any brother who has water to drink? Guys, I discovered a secret. Dig with a shovel to harvest sand. It's just in the backpack, you can take it out and put it in at will. Yes. Digging all the way down, there will be a passage with a portal in front of it. Brothers, look at me teleporting there now. I wonder if I am entering a brand new novice village? Haha, read my follow-up report. Gaowan upstairs, why is there no movement? Keep reporting. Hey. Say something. Everyone, please be careful. I suspect that the portal in the passage will not be too simple. It may be fatal or otherwise. I wipe it. The high-level player who entered the portal upstairs won't be burping, right? Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 1055. Chapter 1055. My golden finger is actually a beep. Seeing this, Suchen's heart sank. Follow the tips he got from his previous dig. In all likelihood, the player who was mid-sentence was dead. I just don't know whether the other party was killed by the cave monster, or whether he stepped into the lava or was annihilated by flying ashes. At the same time, Suchen also noticed. In the local communication channel, it was originally suggested that the number of players was 1,000. But now, only 990 people are left. In other words, 10 people have died in this half hour. The key is, this is still a local channel. If it were put on the world channel, I'm afraid the number would be even higher. But the world channel does not display the number of people. Therefore, the specific number is unknown to Suchen. But compared to most people, Suchen is the luckiest one. After all, he has a unique tip. You can predict in advance which channel is safe, which channel has resources, and which channel is dangerous. Players in the local chat channel quickly noticed the change in this number. Wait, guys. Have you guys seen any changes in the number of players in the local chat channel? It went from 1,000 before to 990 now. Grass. I also saw it, it became 989 again, one less. Oh my god, he's not dead, is he? Could it be that they quit the game? How do I exit this game? I want to go home. I'm hungry, I want to eat braised pork. Looking at everyone's chat messages, Suchen secretly shook his head. I'm afraid these people don't know what kind of game they are facing. They don't know how harsh the living environment they are facing is. Suchen sighed secretly. He sat there and rested for a while. Then he continued to observe his surroundings. He found that as long as he continued to focus on one direction, a notification sound would sound in his mind. There are two sleeping cave monsters in this direction. If you enter, you will wake them up immediately and become a hearty dinner for them. This direction is empty. There is a white treasure chest in this direction, but there is a burrow monster guarding it. If you go in, you will become a pile of fresh feces in 2 days. There is also a white treasure chest in this direction. As long as you carefully avoid the trap, you can get it. This direction is empty. Look all the way over. The top of the head was ignored, and Suchen couldn't climb up. At your feet is a white treasure chest guarded by a cave monster. There is also a cave with a white treasure chest on the right. But there are mechanisms inside. All other directions are empty. Should I enter this crypt with mechanisms? Suchen thought for a while and decided to take the risk. The reason why he made this decision was because he asked in his mind, how can I avoid this trap? Observe for a while and there will be hints. So, the mechanism can also be avoided through prompts. Now Suchen felt a little relieved. He started digging in this direction. Digging all the way. Suchen once again harvested sand *10. He found that the backpack space was very large. It's so big that there seems to be no range. Because the backpack keeps turning down, there are always grids. I don't know how many items can be loaded in each grid. At least for now, 20 copies of sand and soil are all in one grid. As of now, this backpack space is more than enough for players. Soon, the second portal appeared. Suchen had some guesses. Maybe inside this portal, even if you put the shovel in, there will be other things that are not in the portal. One side is displayed. After all, refer to the portal in the game. When the character reaches in, the portal on the other side will not display anything. And in this dungeon game, if you teleport over, there will be no portal behind you. This and the games Suchen had played before were different. After teleporting, there was another earth wall behind him. It was like teleporting out of thin air into a brand new cave. That's why Suchen made such a guess. Of course, I don't know if others, or even other cave monsters, can teleport into the cave where he is through the teleportation array. If it is possible, then the danger of this game will increase. For example, Suchen had just teleported to a new cave and was picking up treasures. Suddenly a player teleported over with a shovel. Or suddenly a terrifying cave monster crawled over. This situation is a bit scary just thinking about it. Suchen was even more cautious at the moment. Although the portal had appeared in front of him, he still waited. Looking at the portal in front of him. After a few seconds, the prompt sounded again. There is also a white treasure chest in this direction. As long as you carefully avoid the trap, you can get it. Exactly the same as before. In other words, the situation in this cave did not change in any way during his excavation process. Then go in. Suchen stepped in cautiously. Then he immediately appeared on the edge of the new cave. This cave is slightly larger than the cave he stayed in before. It can be seen that different caves are not necessarily the same size. About 15 meters in front of him, there was a white box about 1 foot square sitting quietly. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 1056. Chapter 1056 Obtain the weapon machete. Burrow monster jumping snake. Suchen knew there was a trap here. Then he looked around. It's safe here. There's a thrust trap here. There's a thrust trap here. Here. Look at it from place to place. Slowly, according to the prompts, the layout of the entire ground mechanism slowly emerged in Suchen's mind. It is roughly divided into grids of 1 square meter each. Some grids are equipped with mechanisms, and some are flat. After Suchen learned about it, he immediately planned a safe path to the treasure chest. Then I carefully took the shovel and poked it a few times at the safe grid. After finding that it was indeed safe, I stepped over. After taking 2 steps, Suchen was a little curious, so he poked a place next to him that was marked as a stabbing trap with a shovel. Click. The originally flat ground suddenly revealed a trap. The trap is filled with 1-meter-long iron thorns. If Suchen stepped over, he would definitely be pierced. Damn it, it's real. Seeing such a dangerous trap with his own eyes, Suchen was a little scared. Now he walked carefully along the safe path. At the same time, he thought, if an ordinary player faced such a trap cave, he would not know how big it would be. Only by luck can you reach the location of the treasure chest. It seems that this tip-tip is really a treasure. Soon, Suchen arrived at the white treasure box. However, he did not act rashly. Instead, he observed the white treasure box first. Sure enough, the prompt sounded again. This white treasure chest is the lowest level treasure chest. There is an ordinary machete in it. It is not dangerous. After taking out the items, the treasure chest can be decomposed. Suchen went around to the back of the treasure box. Then he carefully opened the lid of the treasure box. Well, no poisonous arrows popped out as expected, and it was indeed safe. Then there was also a machete lying inside. The machete inside the box seemed to be only 1 foot long. It couldn't grow. But when Suchen took it out, it immediately turned into a meter-long machete in his hand. It was quite heavy, but it was also stained with rust. Well, I finally have a weapon. But Suchen didn't know whether he was sure of winning against those cave monsters with the help of this weapon. He put the machete into his backpack. Following the prompts, Suchen thought about disassembling the treasure box. He immediately took it into his hands. There are 3 more white light groups. Ding. You get white *3. Suchen frowned. After looking at the light group for a few seconds. White is the basic material for making white low-level items. Of course, if you want to make items, you have to find the manufacturing diagram. Well, it turns out to be a kind of material. According to the hint, since white represents low level, there must be higher level colors. As for what color it is, there is no hint in Suchen's mind. Obviously, this needs to be explored and discovered by Suchen himself. Suchen put these 3 light groups into the backpack space. After searching around for a while, I found that there was nothing else. Then I observed the surrounding earth walls again. There is a terrifying burrow monster here. If you go in, it will definitely welcome you very much. This is a gas chamber. Once you enter, you will die within 3 seconds. It's empty here, nothing. There is an empty mineral water bottle here. If you choose this place, at least you won't have nothing. Nothing here. There is a low-level cave monster here called Jumping Snake. With your ability, it is still dangerous to deal with it, but there is the ore you need here. 6 directions, the upper and lower ones were directly eliminated by Suchen. The empty and dangerous ones were also eliminated. In the end, there was only a cave on the left with a mineral water bottle, and a cave with cave monsters and ores. Suchen doesn't have too many mineral water bottles, but he doesn't really need them. After all, he already has a bottle of mineral water filled with water in his hand. The bottle can be used to hold liquids. As for the other direction with the cave monster, why is it also in Suchen's hand? It's being considered. It's because the reminder says that with Suchen's current ability, there is a certain danger in dealing with it. It's not the reminder of other burrow monsters we saw before, becoming food or excrement for burrow monsters. In other words, when Suchen faced this leaping snake, he had a certain chance of killing him. In other words, it could also be said that leaping snake also had a certain chance of eating Suchen. It seems that my force value is not enough, but how can I increase my force value? At this moment, the prompt sounded again. Improving the proficiency in using machete can slightly increase the force value. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 1057. Chapter 1057, Improve Weapon Proficiency. Fight the first cave monster. Suchen also couldn't see the option of force value in his personal attributes. That personal attribute is currently always gray. When clicked, it is a fixed template without any changes. All buttons shown are gray and cannot be clicked. Even if I try to click it, it still prompts this module is not yet complete. This made Suchen complain in his heart, how dare he publish this without a perfect game. The key is to let players risk their lives to play. However, after knowing how to improve his force, Suchen started holding the machete in both hands and swung it in a decent manner. Based on the principle that the most basic is the most practical. Suchen just held the machete and kept slashing forward. After 10 minutes of chopping like this, Suchen was out of breath and sat down to rest. With the physique of an ordinary otaku like me, why would I want to hold a machete and fight with cave monsters? Suchen was worried while wiping his sweat. Although he was a little thirsty, he was reluctant to drink water. At present, he only has a bottle of mineral water, and he doesn't know if he will be able to get more water in the future, so he can only use it sparingly. Okay. Suchen looked in that direction again. There is a low-level cave monster here called Jumping Snake. With your ability, it is still a bit dangerous to deal with it, but there are the ores you need here. Huh. A certain danger has turned into a little danger. Seeing the change in the prompt, Suchen stood up immediately. It seems that training in chopping is effective. Since it works, let's keep practicing. Suchen kept slashing again and again, as if he was tireless. Every move was aimed at being fast, accurate, and steady. As for whether it was cruel or not, he didn't know. Anyway, this knife must hit. Enemy. If it misses, well, think about it, that thing is called a jumping snake. If it misses, it will definitely jump on itself, and then nothing will happen. When he thought of this, Suchen waved his machete. The hand seems to be full of strength again. Paralysis. Keep practicing. If you don't practice until you win, you won't stop. This is the motivation that facing the death crisis brings to Suchen. It must be said that Suchen is a person who is very afraid of death. Because he is afraid of death, he trains harder. Finally, there is a clang. The machete in his hand loses its force, falling to the ground. Suchen fell to the ground, panting from exhaustion and sweating all over his face. Your dad is so exhausted? Suchen gasped. Then he took out the bottle of mineral water from his backpack. He carefully took a sip. After a while, take another sip. Drinking water in this way allows the body to fully absorb water. If you drink like before, most of the water will turn directly into urine. Of course, this is healthy for your body. Can help detoxify. But now it's not about health or unhealthy, now it's about survival. As long as you can save water, it's okay to take small sips like this. I drank about 1/5 of the water, which is almost 100 milliliters. Suchen tightened the bottle cap and put it back in his backpack. Then look up and look at the wall in that direction. There is a low-level cave monster here named Jumping Snake. Kill it and you will get something. At the same time, there is the ore you need here. Huh. There is no danger warning. Suchen is excited. This means that he will definitely win against this jumping snake. Take some rest first, and then face the challenge at your best. After all, this is the first cave monster he is about to face. Suchen must be careful. If he makes a mistake, he will not die. This is not a game, and he only has one life. About half an hour later, Suchen had enough rest. Then he moved his body again to adjust his whole body to the best condition. Then he waved the shovel and shoveled all the way. Ding. You get sand asterisk 1. Ding. You get sand asterisk 1. Ding. Soon. The white teleportation aperture appeared in front of me again. Suchen rested for a while. He took out the mineral water from his backpack again and took another small sip, about 30 milliliters. Make sure you are at your best. Then he held a meter-long machete in both hands. Be prepared and rehearse in your mind several scenarios of encountering a jumping snake. If you see it, just cut it. If you see it, just cut it. After reciting a few words silently, Suchen opened his eyes wide and stepped into the circle of light. The next second, a new cave appeared in front of him. In the center of the field, crawled a long snake about 2 meters long and with thick arms. Such a large body, the long snake really scared Suchen. Such a long snake, if it jumps up, I can't strangle it to death. Frightened. Suchen still had a conditioned reflex. He raised his machete high and rushed forward. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 1058. Chapter 1058, Kill Jumping Snake. Discover the source of fire, flint and steel. Damn it! While shouting classic quotes loudly in his mouth. The jumping snake, which was lying lazily, suddenly saw a strange creature coming in, and immediately the body on its back arched up. Then it flicked hard, opened its big mouth, and was about to jump towards Suchen and launched an attack. Whoa! The machete slashed hard, hitting the jumping snake 7 inches in the middle. The snake's head was chopped off on the spot. The body behind it also fell to the ground. But it was still bouncing and twisting. Suchen saw the chop. Broken, he quickly took a few steps back. He waited until the body of the jumping snake stopped twisting, and then stepped forward. Soon, a small gray light ball flew up from the head of the jumping snake, and then disappeared into Sujo. Disappeared in dust body. Ding. You get soul asterisk 1. What is this spirit? Suchen looked at the backpack curiously, and suddenly something like this appeared. The prompt sounded in his mind immediately. The so-called soul can be used as fuel for various weapons and devices. After listening to the explanation, Suchen understood a little bit. It seems that this game uses the soul of the burrowing monster as a kind of driving fuel. Looking at the 2 snake bodies on the ground, Suchen tried to see if he could pick them up. Ding. You get snake meat asterisk 4. Ding. You get snake gut asterisk 1. There are 2 kinds of things in total. According to the tips, snake meat can be roasted and eaten. If eaten raw, there is an 80% chance of getting parasitic diseases. Snake gallbladder has a certain detoxification effect and can only be used once, taken orally. These are all good things, but I don't have anything to make a fire or wood right now. Suchen looked around. First, I found the ore mentioned in the prompt. Ding. You get iron ore asterisk 3. Ding. You get stone asterisk 5. Immediately afterwards, he found some weeds around the cave. Ding. You get weed asterisk 10. According to the prompts, weeds can be used as burning materials, and can also be used to make some devices, furniture, and building materials. However, there are only 10 weeds, and the quantity is too small. Suchen probably can only use them as ignition materials. Continue searching once again, there was nothing else. Suchen rested on the spot for a while. But even if he was resting, he did not dare to be careless. After all, no one knew who or what would suddenly appear from around him. From his observation, the jumping snake knew it. Before he entered here, the jumping snake had no idea that anyone would come here. Since the jumping snake didn't know, Suchen wouldn't know either. There was isolation inside and outside the teleportation array. If you want to eat barbecue, you must find a fire source. I don't know where there is a fire source here. Suchen thought secretly. Then look around. This direction is empty. This direction is a gas chamber with some poisonous weeds inside that can be used to make poison. This direction is full of poisonous insects. If you go in, you will be lying down in 3 seconds, and your body will be gone in 1 minute. There is a piece of bread in this direction, but in your current situation, you cannot climb it. The fourth tip is the position above the head. Suchen shrugged. This cave is bigger than the previous one. It's about 5 meters high. Not to mention that it can't be climbed up, even if he is asked to dig it, he can't dig it. There is flint in this direction, and there is also a small amount of wood inside. There are 10 jumping snakes in this direction. If you go in, they will definitely welcome you very much. Below are jumping snakes. But there are 10 of them. Just killing one made Suchen feel frightened. 10 of them, even if Suchen ran over, there wouldn't be enough for everyone to eat. So, only the left side can go. There happens to be the flint that Suchen urgently needs. This is the key to creating a fire source. As long as there is fire, he can do many things. The reason why humans have civilization has a lot to do with fire. In the prompt, there is no said that there were other dangers in this direction. Suchen dug in this direction with confidence. Soon, a new teleportation array appeared in front of him. Suchen stepped forward in 1 step. It was a very clean cave. The space was relatively small. There were 2 planks of wood, and a half-used piece of flint no larger than the size of a finger. Ding. You get wood board *2. Ding. You get flint and steel *1. I searched again. I even rummaged through the sand and soil. I made sure there was nothing. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 1059. Chapter 1059 Make a fire. Barbecue. Get inferior quality charcoal. Suchen took out the black ball. A thought came to my mind. A mud cave immediately opened up. Because the space in this cave is small. Therefore, this mud cave just blocks the passages in the 5 directions of the cave, up, down, left, right, and back. There is only one passage direction left at the entrance of the cave. In this way, Suchen had a much smaller number of areas to guard against. He can also light a fire and cook with peace of mind. Although it is said very quickly. But more than 3 hours have passed since Suchen first entered this game. He wasn't very full to begin with. Another training session on machete slashing and another battle with a jumping snake. This consumed a lot of his energy. My stomach has started to growl. At that moment, he took out 2 copies of weed. Use a machete to chop a plank of wood into long, easy to burn lengths. Then he used a flint against the nest of weeds on the ground and scraped it with the machete. Stupid. Sparks flew everywhere. And following the direction of Suchen's scratching, it fell towards the weeds on the ground. Just scrape it 3 times in a row. The weeds finally smoked and burned. Suchen immediately carefully put up the smallest wooden bar. The fire should be hollow. Cannot be compacted. Suchen used a few wooden sticks to build a simple bonfire. Soon, the flames burst into flames. Suchen looked at the fire he had built in front of him and couldn't help but smile. Humanity is a civilization of fire. Fire can bring people warmth and peace of mind. With fire, I believe it can drive away and scare many monsters. Then, he used a specially thinned piece of wood to skewer the snake meat. Then put it on the flame. Jumping snakes are fatter and not as lean as real snake meat. After being roasted over a flame, the fat inside is roasted until it sizzles. It also makes the lean meat next to it more fragrant and tender. Suchen's mouth watered as he smelled the meat. I am also hungrier. About 10 minutes later, Suchen quickly pinched the flesh. Found it to be ripe and ready to eat. I picked it up quickly, taking a bite without caring about the heat. Delicious. So delicious. This kind of fat and lean meat is most suitable for barbecue. Even without salt and other seasonings, it is very delicious. It would probably taste better if there was some salt. Suchen quickly finished the portion of roasted snake meat. Then the stomach is full. There are still 3 portions left, so save some and you can eat it for 3 days. As for that pack of instant noodles, save it for a critical moment. If the snake meat is kept for a long time, Suchen is worried that it will go bad. He also doesn't know whether the space in the backpack will affect the deterioration of the snake meat. If it can be stored like ordinary games, the things placed inside can be stored and kept fresh no matter how long they are stored. It would be great if it was as fresh as the beginning. Of course, he needed to try all of this. After eating, Suchen extinguished the fire with sand. Then he dug out the charcoal inside. Ding! You get inferior charcoal *1. After all, it is not professionally made charcoal. But even low-quality charcoal is a rare fuel. In this kind of survival game, it must be preserved. Do these things. Suchen continued to sit at the entrance of the cave. Check the chat channel. Damn it, it has been more than 3 hours, and I have dug 3 caves, but there is nothing. I am exhausted. Is there any kind person who can give me a sip of water or a sip of food? I have a lot of sand here, let me exchange it with you. Hey, my sister is so hungry. As long as you guys are willing to give me food and drink, my sister can let you do anything. I'm about to die, I was almost eaten by a swarm of poisonous insects. I'm covered in all kinds of bumps and have a high fever. Who can save me? I don't want to die, I don't want to die. Suchen looked around. I found that many people were begging for food and drink at this time. Many people have even tried digging burrows. Then the number of players in the local channel continued to drop sharply. From the previous 990, it has been reduced to the current 850. In other words, from the beginning of the game to now, a total of more than 3 hours, 150 people have died. About 1/6. The most important day has not passed. I don't know how many people will be left until tomorrow. Trade. Can this game still be traded? Suchen looked at the game interface. He found that there was a translucent button in the upper right corner. He clicked it and found that 2 pop-up windows appeared. One is the trading platform, which can make various transactions for all players. A handling fee is charged. One is warm tips. There is currently only 1 tip here. If the player dies, he will immediately return to reality and then turn into a corpse. This reminder is really sweet and heartwarming. Suchen complained for a while. Then he began to understand why players suddenly became very afraid of death. If there were still angry players at the beginning who thought of committing suicide and quit the game, now they are completely gone. They are afraid of death. Fear and desire for life make all players struggle to survive. There are even female players who feel that they are somewhat beautiful, and are willing to sacrifice everything for a bite of food and drink. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 1060. Chapter 1060 Tips for Repairing Dongtian Paradise. Suchen looked at the trading platform. Currently, there are no items on the platform except for the sand hanging out. And when they hang out in the sand, all they need is water and food. But it's early in the game and everyone is in dire need of water and food. No one would be willing to trade such a life-saving tool for the sand and soil that can be dug everywhere. After watching the chat channel, Suchen suddenly felt very satisfied with his current situation. Now he is not only full of food and drink. There is still stock in the backpack. There were 3 portions of snake meat, each portion filling him up. There is also a pack of instant noodles. If there is a lot of water, you might be able to make a steaming bowl of instant noodles. You know, there are seasonings in it. Seasoning bag. Suchen suddenly reacted. He didn't find salt or other seasonings now. But there are some in instant noodles. You don't have to eat the noodles, but you can use the seasonings first. Suchen quickly took out the instant noodles and opened them. Sure enough, it's 3 packs of ingredients. A pack of seasonings, which contains salt, message, spices, etc. This can be used for barbecue later. A pack of vegetable packs, which contain shrunken vegetables, but very little. Let's see if they can be used when making soup in the future. In addition, 1 pack is a sauce pack. This is a rare item, so keep it for now. In this way, not only do I have something to eat, but I also have some seasonings. Compared with other players, my situation is probably the best. Suchen knew that he was able to reach his current state thanks to having a golden finger. Without this golden finger, he might have died when digging the first cave. Next, Suchen first got into the cave, which was the so-called cave paradise mentioned in the prompts, and slept for a short while. According to the prompts, Suchen would not be attacked by outsiders while sleeping inside. But he did not dare to be careless. I didn't sleep to death, I just took a nap for a while and regained my energy a little. Well, after all, I had just eaten, so it was inevitable to want to sleep. About half an hour later, Suchen woke up. He did not get out of the cave immediately. I just went around and felt it first. Well, no movement. Then he climbed to the entrance of the cave and took a look. He found that nothing else came in and no danger warning was heard. Suchen got out and stretched his legs and feet. Looking at the short cave paradise in front of him, Suchen I was feeling that this thing was too small. It was difficult to sit upright in it. Unexpectedly, the beep sounded. Collect some talismans and materials to repair the Dongtian paradise. Collecting talismans. What is a talisman? Suchen was confused. However, no new prompts came out. Suchen could only keep this question in his mind. Of course, Suchen felt better knowing that this short mud cave could be repaired. If this Dongtian paradise would always look like this, Suchen would really feel aggrieved. Sleeping in such a place is even more uncomfortable than sleeping in a coffin. They didn't even dare to reach out and kick their legs casually. He was afraid that if he kicked over, he would dig out a big hole in the cave filled with dirt. At that time, it was really a Dong paradise. With the thought, Dongtian paradise immediately turned into a small black ball in Suchen's hand. Put it in your backpack. Suchen held the machete and continued to observe the surroundings. The cave in this direction is a dead place. Once you enter, you cannot come out. Unexpectedly, the first direction was a cave of death that I had never seen before. I don't know what this dead place means. Is it because there are no passages in 6 directions, or is there a trap that cannot be jumped out of? If it's the former, then Suchen should be careful. This means that if Suchen teleports through this passage, the entire passage will change. In other words, the caves before and after the teleportation array change randomly. Then the difficulty of this underground survival game has been greatly increased. If it's the latter, then it's okay to say. There is a terrifying burrow monster in this direction. If you go in, it will be very happy. Happy sister. Suchen complained in his heart. This hint is also very naughty. This direction is empty. There is a green treasure chest in this direction, there is no danger inside. There is a small amount of wood in this direction, there is no danger inside. There is a small amount of water in this direction, and there is a poisonous bee in it. At your speed, you can die after drinking the water. Even if you were told, you wouldn't be able to get the thing in this direction. Of course, even if you were told, you wouldn't get it. It was a pile of feces left by a burrowing monster that left. The last prompt is from the direction of Suchen's head. Although the prompt is very annoying, the information inside provides a new knowledge point. Will the cave monsters staying in the cave leave on their own? Where will the burrowing monsters that leave go? Do they also dig tunnels? And then teleport through the teleportation array? Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 1061. Chapter 1061 Hand Crossbow Manufacturing Diagram. Green for refining weapons. This discovery made Suchen feel nervous. This shows that what Suchen was worried about before really exists. There really are burrow monsters that can dig tunnels and suddenly emerge from the teleportation array. Just like now, Suchen stayed in this cave. If a powerful and terrifying cave monster suddenly jumped out, Suchen would definitely die. Damn it, then I can only open up the cave paradise and get in to save my life. Following the instructions, he could resist external attacks by getting into the paradise of cave. But he didn't know whether there were high or low attacks. He could still resist any attack. Because Suchen was very doubtful that such a pile of dirt would be able to resist. How much attack can a broken cave withstand? In the passage on the right, there is a green treasure chest. According to the rules of the game we played before, the green treasure chest should be more advanced than the white treasure chest. I just don't know what will be found inside. Since it says there is no danger, let's dig. Suchen replaced the machete in his hand with a shovel and started digging quickly. Soon, the teleportation array appeared in front of him. Suchen looked at the prompt again. There was still no danger warning. Only then did he step in. What appeared in front of him is a circular burrow. It is about 10 meters square. It is very big. Well, this also means that even if there are treasures in the burrow in the passage above the head, Suchen can only look away and sigh. The burrow in the center, there was a green treasure chest lying quietly. Suchen went up to observe it first. There is no danger in this treasure chest and it can be opened. He then opened. You get hand crossbow manufacturing diagram *1. You get mineral water *2. Two things were found inside. One is the manufacturing diagram, and the other is the water source. Not bad, just 2 bottles of water, adding up to 1 liter, enough for me to consume for a few days. Then, he picked up the hand crossbow manufacturing diagram. Do you want to study this manufacturing diagram? Huh? Can you still learn it directly? After learning, you should be able to make it, right? Suchen thought like this. Study. Ding. You gain the hand crossbow manufacturing skill. Immediately, in the game interface bar in the lower right corner, there was an additional manufacturing button. Click on it, and an option for hand crossbow manufacturing appeared. Suchen chose to create. To make hand crossbow, you need iron block 2, wood board 1, rope 1, white 1. Except for wooden boards and white, Suchen has no other 2 materials. In addition, this hand crossbow manufacturing skill also comes with crossbow arrow manufacturing. To make crossbow arrows, you need iron block 1 and wood board 1. You can make crossbow arrows *10 each time. Calculated this way, I need 3 pieces of iron, 2 pieces of wood, and 1 piece of rope. Suchen looked at the iron ore in his backpack and wondered how it could turn into iron. By the way, treasure chests can also be broken down. At this moment, he chose to decompose the treasure chest. Ding. Decompose the green treasure chest, and you get green *2. Green, there is a certain chance that your weapons can be refined into green fine weapons. A reminder suddenly sounded in Suchen's mind. This shocked him. White can only be used to make materials, but green can actually be used to refine weapons. And the prompt does not say that if refining fails, the weapon will be damaged or disappear. This proves that as long as you keep refining, you will always succeed, and you don't have to worry about the weapon being damaged. In this way, this crossbow arrow manufacturing diagram can only produce white weapons, and the machete in my hand is also a white weapon. I have 2 copies of green now. I wonder if I can use them to refine the machete. Can I refine this thing into a green fine product? What will its power be like then? But he just thought about it for a moment and then gave up the idea. After all, if he could make a crossbow, it is definitely better to use green to refine long-range weapons such as crossbows. Long-range weapons are much safer after all. Kite flying tactics can also be used. If it was used to refine a machete, it was not refined successfully. The remaining portion is used to refine the hand crossbow, and if it fails, then he will cry to death. It's better to use it to refine the hand crossbow first. If it succeeds at the first time, use the extra one to refine the machete. Having made up his mind, Suchen continued to look around. There is fresh air in this direction. There is a sleeping cave monster in this direction. If you go there, it will welcome you very much. There are some plants in this direction that you should need. There are many poisonous insects in this direction. If you don't want to live, you can go in. Observe it once. Suchen found that only in the direction under his feet, there was something worth exploring. I have never dug downwards before. It said that there are plants I need inside. I wonder if they can be used to make ropes. At that moment, Suchen picked up the shovel and spit in his hand. Excavate.